I'm Jacqueline Newman, Eat at Home Georgia's mom on a mission. I'm on a mission to save money, eat healthy, and lead a healthier lifestyle. Now, as many of you know, I don't cook. I don't know how to cook, but I am trying to learn. Lucky for me, I'm in a fantastic industry with great friends and partners like Mike Parrott from Colorado Box Beef. Mike is here today to teach us how to get the bang for your buck with ribeye steak. Let's go see what's going on with Mike in the kitchen. Mike, what are we gonna do with this large piece of steak today?
We're going to show the average working mom how to take this boneless piece of ribeye home and make several different meals out of it. There's a savings by buying the whole muscle versus buying the cut steaks or the roast inside of the store already cut. And you can do this at home. It's a boneless product and it's easy to work with.
Fantastic, let's do it.
We're going to use a 6-inch boning knife because that's easy to work with. We're first going to remove the cryovac on the ribeye. And I keep it over the sink so that it can drain into the sink. Is you want to try to pick one out with not a lot of fat on the back because that's not usable for you. We're going to trim that away. This is real nice. This is an Angus piece of ribeye, and it's got a real nice trim on it, which means there's not a lot of fat. The first thing we're going to do is, you can see it's a very fatty piece of meat across here, and this is called the tail. There's some meat in this, but it's not really usable because it's mixed in with the fat. So don't let it scare you that you're throwing away a little bit of meat. I'm going to cut this end off because there's quite a bit there, and you can use that for stews or chilies. So we're going to save some scraps over here that we can use for other things. I don't like a lot of fat on my ribeye, on my steak, so I'm removing all of this. Some people may like that layer of fat on the outside of the ribeye. You can leave it, but we're going to make these pretty lean. This layer of fat, if you get your knife up under it, it just scoops right across.
Do you mind if I try to cut off some of that? So all you're doing is trimming the fat off the top of it?
That's correct. Just underneath, you can see here, there's a real light film, and you're trying to get this film off as well because that's going to be tough on the meat. So when you start your knife underneath the fat, you can actually start right here on the edge of that,
right
that
here?
film. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And watch your finger. And just kind of, that's a sharp knife, it'll just scoot along there. And you try to keep that angle with the meat so that you get as wide a strip as you can.
So like this?
Mm-hmm. But you can kind of just push because that's pretty sharp.
Curiosity, what would this exact piece of meat go for in a retail store?
Roughly $99.
So $95, and we can get roughly...
You're going to get maybe 6 or 7 meals out of this, depending on the size of your family, more. Now what I'm going to do is make this tidy, so I'm going to trim off some of the end here. This is kind of jagged here. We're just going to barely just take off enough to clean it up. I'm going to cut a few steaks out of this. And I like to cut mine about 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick. So now what we've got is we've got 3 nice ribeyes. We're going to take this whole muscle and we're going to cut it lengthwise, right down the center. Now what you've got is you've got 2 nice sized roasts. You've got a nice roast here for a family of 3 or 4 where you can cook this whole muscle in the oven and slice off pieces.
That looks like a fillet to me.
We're going to cut these into 4s. Exactly. So now we've got a ribeye medallion. So that's just a small portion ribeye. This is a 6 or 8 ounce ribeye. We've got another roast here that's similar to this one. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut more medallions out of this. This is one of the things you're going to see. There's 2 ends of the ribeye. One has the cap, and the cap is considered one of the most tender pieces of meat. It's a spinalis muscle that runs right here. So what we ended up with, we took a 9-pound ribeye, and after we trimmed the product, we've got 3 ribeye steaks, we've got a stir-fry mix, we got a stew meat, we end up with 5 of the ribeye medallions. Then over here you have 6 of the cap-on ribeye medallions, and then your 2 quick roasts in the back. So there's your meals.
That is great. So let's go upstairs and learn how to cook them. Well, with typical Georgia weather, it looks like we're not going to be able to cook on the grill right now. There is a band of thunderstorms coming in. But I did want to thank Mike and Colorado Box Beef for helping us learn how to use a ribeye to its fullest capabilities. Mike, thank you so much for everything. This is Jacqueline Newman reporting to you live with Georgia Food Industry Association. Remember, eat at home, Georgia.